Hello and welcome back to Cars.co.za's weekly news. I'm David Taylor, and in this week's episode, I'm going to tell you all you need to know about the brand new Renault Duster as well as the new generation Mitsubishi Triton. Music.
Think of a car, any car. Yes, Cars.co.za. Let's find what moves you.
And our first news story for the week, this is the brand new Mitsubishi Triton and it's just gone on sale in South Africa. Now, I know we're not supposed to have our favorites, but I got a lot of love for the Triton and I just can't understand why the Triton doesn't sell in commendable numbers, unlike the Isuzu, the Ford, and Toyota, and so on. Let me know in the comments why you think the Triton is not popular. But let's get into it. This is the new Triton, 6th generation, and the launch is going to be staggered out over the next couple of months. There's going to be a commercial vehicle launch middle of 2025, and there's going to be a flagship version towards the end of next year. Now, there's some time to wait. I know it's a pain in the bum, but the flagship, I think, might be worth it. 6 generations, yeah? I mean, what a legacy. I mean, some of you may remember the Colt. Now, if you're watching this and under the age of 25, the Colt was a very cool bakkie back in the early 90s. Now, chances are if your dad had one, he was very popular. Right, back to the Triton. First derivative of touchdown. I've got Cars.co.za specs in front of me. This new Triton is slightly bigger than the outgoing model. There's a new 2.4 litre turbo diesel engine, and I know the last one had a 2.4, but this one is said to be a bit more refined. 135 kilowatts, 430 newton meters. If you're worried about the lack of punch, I mean, it's roundabout doing the same power as the equivalent Ranger, single turbo, and Hilux. Mitsubishi's flagship, you know, the one I told you that's coming next year, bi-turbo diesel engine, 150 kilowatts and almost 500 newton meters. That could be worth waiting for. Mitsubishi South Africa has introduced legacy names as well, like the Athlete and Extreme to the mix. And you remember those? They came with a whole bunch of locally developed accessories. These ones, the accessories are a blend of both local and imported goodies, and it's things like off-road tires, some extra cladding, rubberized mats, some decals, and so on. I think they look awesome. I mean, nothing makes quite the statement like an orange Mitsubishi Triton with those wheels. Awesome. I've already had a quick drive. We had the launch a couple of days ago. My first impression, the key word here is refinement. I think this is one of the more refined double cabs in the segment. I mean, some of the other models, Hilux, are getting on in their years and could do with an update. I think the 2024 Triton brings a big level of modern efficiency and refinement to the segment. As far as pricing goes, I think pricing is competitive. You can get into a double cab Triton from 640,000 Rand. I think that's reasonably competitive with the rest of the segment, but I'll link full pricing and a link to my report in the description below. Our next story for this week, the all-new, new generation Renault Duster, which is confirmed for a South African market introduction next year, March, April. The bad news. That lovely 1.5 diesel motor, you know, the one that's been in all the Dusters up until this point, that's been canned because Europe goes, it's too dirty. Well, we're not in Europe. We're in a developing market and we love our diesels. So why can't we have a diesel DCI? Like, it would just make the most sense. What a great engine. Punchy and efficient. But as is the case with most cars, we have to go green and have to be more efficient. So this all new motor, what's the story? This is the HR12 petrol engine. It is a 1.2 litre turbocharged 3-cylinder with mild hybrid technology. 96 kilowatts, 205 newton meters. There's 217 millimeters of clearance for your 4x4 enthusiasts. Yes, there will be a 4x4 derivative. And of course, automatic and manual gearboxes. I've had the pleasure of sitting inside the brand new Duster. Renault South Africa had a quick preview event, so we could have a walk around and look inside. This was a homologation unit, so final spec is still to be confirmed, but first impressions count for everything. The cabin is really cool. It's got this rugged utilitarian vibe about it. As far as styling goes, I think the front looks amazing. I like how Renault has put its logo there instead of the Dacia Duster, although to be said, that DC in the front there added quite an image to it. The rear styling I'm not sold on. This looks a bit awkward, but I think when we see one on the road, it's going to be quite different. Now, if I reference the Cars.co.za new car pricing, current Duster, 398,000, flagship costing 466,000. Call me cynical, but this new Duster comes with a turbocharged petrol hybrid engine. As we all know, electrified engines, the jury is still out. There could be a 25% import duty on that as opposed to your standard 18% duty. So I think we're in for quite the price increase. Look, Renault South Africa already says it's planning hinges on the Rand-Euro exchange rate. And as a reminder, Renault doesn't have a factory in South Africa, so they can't lean on those export credits to soften the import blow. So yes, it's sounding excuses for a 600,000 Rand Duster, but hey, I hope I'm wrong. I really don't want to see an affordable, rugged, utilitarian SUV costing that much. The whole thing about the Duster, I mean, the whole thing about Dacia even, is about affordable mobility. No one needs to pay above and beyond that. Now, before I end off this video, I want to touch on the reaction around one of our review videos that we did last couple of days ago, I think. The Mahindra 3XO, and there's lots of comments about the fuel economy. Interestingly, Mahindra doesn't let you change from kilometers per liter to liters per 100. So we got to see some very interesting numbers on the dashboard. Somehow, Jacob managed to get 8 kilometers per liter, which is outrageous. That's a totally unrealistic figure, and rightfully so. You called us out for this. Subsequent to that video, we've done quite a bit of testing and driven that car extensively, both in and around Cape Town, on the highways, out and about, and we're actually getting a far more realistic figure of around 15 to 16 kilometers per liter, which translates to about 6.5 liters per 100, which I think is far more realistic. For what it's worth, Mahindra claims 5.9, and you know we got to take those figures with a pinch of salt, but I think if you're considering the Mahindra 3XO, the fuel economy is not a big issue as we made it out to be. So that one's on us. That wraps up this week's video, and as always, I will link all the info and additional reading in the description below. As a reminder, if you're after a new or used vehicle, Cars.co.za is your go-to destination with over 74,000 vehicles. I will see you next week. Thanks for watching. Okay, bye.
Think of a car, any car. Yes, Cars.co.za. Let's find what moves you.